Howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, making another video for you out of Boise, Idaho. So today we're looking at a 2002-2003 Passat. This is a manual Passat, turbocharged. It's a really nice one. It's got all the works on it and stuff. I've worked on quite a few VWs in my time and worked for a shop that specialized in VWs, so I get them here at the house from time to time, and this is both a good repeat customer and friend of mine. So work that I've done on this Passat, there's a previous video of a rack and pinion swap out, and then I've also changed out the two air hoses and air pump, which is way down in there. You actually get to it from underneath, and it originally came back because, I don't know, a week or so after I changed it, I think maybe even a little bit longer, like a month, I don't know, the check engine light came back on. I checked it, it was the same issue. At that point, just needed to warranty out the air pump. Sometimes these electronic parts that are, made in China, even German stuff gets made in China, come crappy out of the box. So that's what that boiled down to. Got the information over to the company. They sent me a new air pump and another two new set of hoses, and so getting that all fixed up. But while it's been here, I've had to start it in the mornings to move it, and I've noticed that it just doesn't sound right. And although there are no check engine lights off, and I think anybody else that isn't as experienced probably wouldn't notice it, but again, I thought, man, there's something about the engine that sounds off. And I also noticed that right off the bat, starting it in the morning colds, you get that growl, that grrr. It lasts about 10 seconds, comes out of the front timing area. And so, all that kind of concerned me. So I thought, well, we might as well take a moment and look through it and see what we got going on. So as I'm going through it and checking things out, I noticed that the coolant level is actually quite low. It's not just at minimum, it is way below minimum. And although there are no signs of like a head gasket being blown or a coolant leak or anything like that, there's no white smoke coming out of the tailpipe as you're driving it. The coolant is obviously being burnt off somewhere. And one of the main culprits that can cause that is a water pump that's not turning the coolant correctly, or a water pump that's not turning correctly itself, weak bearings, so it's become loose and stuff like that. And so with some of the other signs that I've seen, the vehicle making the growl when you start it cold, the coolant being low like that, made me wonder if this vehicle has ever had a timing belt service done to it. It has 100,000 miles on it, and so I did what research I could based off of the VIN number. Found no information for a timing belt concerning that. I've looked all underneath the hood, and I see no stickers or professional stickers or any indication that this vehicle is up to snuff on its proper maintenance intervals. So I went ahead and decided to just pop the timing cover off and take a peek. Let me see if we can see in here. Come on, camera focus. There we go. And sure enough, look at that timing belt. You see, it's cracked. It's not just worn, man. It's cracked. It's cracked good. That is a worn out timing belt. And I'd be willing to bet that the timing tensioner is worn out too. And so is the water pump. Now, what can happen, that's pretty serious. And that's something that you want to get looked at if you run into this situation. Again, let's look at this timing belt. There we go. Now then. Oh, come on here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna learn and get better at doing this camera stuff here. Okay, so you see the cracks on that timing belt. So that's not a good thing, and the reason why is because that's indication that the timing belt's going to break. If the timing belt breaks, on this vehicle, it is an interference engine. So once that timing belt breaks, you might as well just forget about it. Don't even try to replace the cylinder head, because what's going to happen is all the valves and pistons are going to make contact. They're going to bend. You're going to take out the whole top half of this engine, and at that point you might as well find yourself a new car or a new engine. So it's very important to have your timing belt serviced and stuff like that. So I haven't started this car yet. It's been pretty cold out this morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it and see if I can capture for you guys the growl and rattle that I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna hand the camera over and I'm gonna try to capture the growling, rattling noise upon cold startup that you hear. And this is common on these types of vehicles. So I don't know if I was able to capture that on this video. As you know, I don't really edit anything. I just post them as I make them. So the best thing to do for this vehicle would be to go ahead and service that timing belt. Now, what does a timing belt service consist of? It consists of a new belt, new seals, like a crankshaft seal, all that other stuff. You also get a new water pump, as well as a new tensioner and a new idler pulley. So the whole 9 yards inside of here gets serviced, and then you put a sticker on here to, you know, let whoever the next mechanic is know that the timing has been serviced and that it was serviced at 80 or 100,000 miles. So there you go, folks. There's some information on the VW Passat. If you kind of hear a little clacking or rattling noise coming from the timing area, if things feel just a little off, but you don't have any check engine light on, if you notice that you have low coolant, but there's no signs of any coolant leaks, or you don't have any white smoke coming out of the tailpipe like it's being burnt off, then the best thing to do is to go ahead and pop your timing cover, check your timing belt, see if it's wore out, see if it's cracked. Go ahead and service it along with the water pump and everything else. You won't regret it. It is what these vehicles need and take to keep on the road. Yeah, I really got to give it to VW. I enjoy driving them. They're fun. Nothing else out there drives like them. Audi as well. But you got to make sure you keep the maintenance you keep the maintenance service intervals up to snuff. So, all right, folks. Well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. Thanks for watching me. Thanks for supporting me. Check out my 2 new projects I have going on over at patreon.com and gofundme.com. I am signing off.